Correct. The movie talks about male-female relationship in the modern era, and the movie debates the women are progressive and they have the self-esteem.
I see.
And now they can travel, they can earn, they are independent, and they don't need bodyguards, they need lovers.
Right.
The story is not talking, I told you it's not a protagonist story, it's not a hero, it's not a hero. It talks about male, female in general. So both of the characters has equal, what do you say, value in this movie. And you can say as a writer, I am just supporting the female side. Okay? And she takes the slipper, goes and beats them. Okay? Even though there's not a problem. And she uses F word when she beats them. So the F word becomes a problem. Then I was asking them, so okay, if suppose she have to scold a man back in Tamil, what the words she can speak in Tamil?
Hi, welcome to our show, Cinema Express show, not just an interview.
Okay.
One of the first things I want to start off by asking is Taramani teaser last year release actually, somewhere middle last year.
Okay.
அதோட ரிலீஸோட டிலே would you say அதுக்கு அந்த ஸ்மால் ஹீரோ அப்படின்ற ஒரு விஷயமா இல்ல is there more to?
Of course, you can't say it's a small hero. There's no hero in the movie. It means a popular hero is in the movie.
Right.
So it's very hard to release a movie without a hero. Even you have a popular heroine in the movie.
Right.
That's how the market functions. And next thing, it's not a regular mainstream movie.
Okay.
It doesn't have an antagonist in the movie. My movie never has antagonist. So when you don't have an antagonist, you don't have anybody to print on your poster itself. If you have an antagonist, if you have a hero, the people will easily understand there's an antagonist and there's a fight, there's an action, there's a love. So everything is set up. So the promotion is still difficult. You have to first explain or express what is this movie is all about, and you have to position it, the second thing. And third thing, when you do a movie with this kind of newcomers and with a new idea, the producer will also have the same difficulty.
Right.
To create funds. And even once you finish the movie, it's hard to sell the movie. So the producer have to release by himself. So it takes its own time.
Although you do have an established heroine in Andrea.
Yeah,
so it's
but
not really a new cast, so to speak.
But you can't sell a movie just with the name of Andrea, because when you're making there's a budget to do a movie. If this movie is finished within a kind of a 2 crores, 1.5, then it's easy to sell. But it is not in that box also. You have spent nearly around, when the movie comes to the market, it will be around, I think, 6 crore will be the production cost.
I see.
So there's no market to sell a new hero, an Andrea movie for 6 crore.
Okay.
So it takes its... But you can't say there's no market. If you release it, you can get it back.
Okay.
So it's like a gambling. So the producer who likes these kind of movies, they'll also have their own problems.
So did you have similar problems for Thangamingal as well?
Yeah, Thangamingal, because I acted, and GVM was the producer, and he was having a real bad time. So and he has into a lot of legal issues and money issues.
So இது உங்களுக்கு புதுசு கிடையாது இந்த ஒரு
Of course, yeah.
ரிலீஸ் பண்ற ஒரு கஷ்டம் அப்படி.
And not only for me, nowadays it's very hard to release movie than taking a movie in Tamil industry. This is the real truth.
Right. Okay.
Even to big stars, the same things happening.
அதாவது இப்போ ராம்ன்ற ஒரு established director, if I can say that. In the sense that people are familiar with your work. They know that you do a certain variety of films. Your heroes are a certain type of people. அப்படி இருக்கும்போது கூட you're saying you have the same problems that any amateur director has.
Yeah, of course.
Right. What about Taramani? I mean, I saw the trailer of Taramani. அது பார்க்கும்போது it seems like an interplay between this stereotypical man and a progressive woman. I mean, இது simply based on the limited footage available in the trailer. Yeah. Am I somewhere?
You are more or less correct. The movie talks about male-female relationship in the modern era, and the movie debates the women are progressive and they have the self-esteem.
I see.
And now they can travel, they can earn, they are independent, and they don't need bodyguards, they need lovers.
Right.
But the stereotype Tamil man doesn't know to understand that kind of woman.
Okay.
Or they know to love them.
Right.
And the movie seriously asks, if does Tamil man knows to love a woman happily?
அதாவது நீங்க இப்போ தமிழ் மேன் அப்படின்னு சொல்லும்போது
தமிழ் மேன்னா கதை தமிழ்
இல்ல நான் லாங்குவேஜ் பத்தி வரல. Is it a certain, does this man belong to a certain demographic? இந்த மாதிரி மனிதர்கள் தமிழ்நாட்டுலன்ற அந்த மாதிரி ஏதோ ஸ்பெசிபிக் டார்கெட்?
It is not. I should not have used Tamil man because the movie is a Tamil. Because if it's a Telugu, then I would have Telugu man. If it's a Hindi, it's a Hindi man. Marathi man.
Right.
and because it's about whole normal Indian male. And
Normal Indian chauvinistic male sollama because
I strongly feel all males are chauvinistic.
Really?
That means that
Right.
there are people who knows that they are chauvinistic, and there are a lot of men they doesn't know even that they are chauvinistic. And there are democratic men too, but there are exceptions, and or in any way, still they're trying to understand a modern woman or a real woman.
right,
This is the age-old story, right? Not only now,
right,
from the Shakespearean period to now,
right.
all this male-female relationship has the same kind of issue. Does man knows to love a woman? It's the same age-old question. I'm asking the same old question in a new contemporary era.
Aதாவது when you're setting it in a place like Taramani, which has seen an IT boom, and it was something else a few years back, it is something else today. That entire area. So அப்படின்னும்போது you mentioned that Shakespearean காலத்திலிருந்தே it's been a prevalent problem between men and women அப்படின்றது.
Even
So
before that, I'm saying.
இந்த படம் பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் are you getting into a more niche zone of romance? அதாவது contemporary timesல இந்த மாதிரி புது பிரச்சனைகள் இருக்குன்ற மாதிரி ஏதாவது இருக்கா?
No, I just trying to understand that how is this male-female relationship in the contemporary era.
Okay.
And that through a lot of inspirations from books and the people you meet and whatever the news you read.
Okay.
But but this movie doesn't understand Taramani as a IT corridor.
Oh no. Okay.
Taramani is a multilingual, multicultural, international space in Tamil Nadu or international space in India.
So it could have been any other contemporary space in Chennai as well.
But not any. That was saying Taramani is totally different because
Right.
Taramani is the place which was filled with Biharis, Bengalis, Oriya, Northeast, then all over other states. This Biharis, Oriyas comes to development of the Taramani area. The express highway has been built by Biharis. The flats, the 28 floors, what do you say? What do you say it in English? That kind of a building.
Yeah, high-rise apartments.
High-rise apartments are filled with workers from kind of Bengal, Chhattisgarh, Oriya, and the people who works in beauty parlor, they comes from Northeast. Even like a regular, not a beauty parlor, salon shop, a lot of Biharis are working.
Okay.
And IT crowd is also there, and BPO crowd is there. Then international crowd is also there.
Right.
So I feel Taramani is a kind of a first international space, kind of in Tamil Nadu, and it is multicultural, multilingual. And so I choose Taramani to play. I choose Taramani because it resembles this global village kind of a concept. So I just want to put my characters over there and see and how this male-female relationship happens over there. Or the people who lives over there.
And which you spoke about a lot of groups from that area. So which group does this hero belong to?
Hero belongs to Chennai.
Okay.
And that's why I said he's a Tamil guy because he speaks Tamil. And he comes from a village called Kuvam, which is very close to Chennai, some 40 kilometers away, where this river Kuvam actually starts and comes to Chennai.
I see.
So he starts from the same place called Kuvam and he comes to Chennai, and he feels that he also been polluted after coming to Chennai as the river been polluted in Chennai.
Okay.
And he's a kind of he's an English graduate, did his masters in English literature. But he's from a village, he's still fundamental or can say kind of possessive, and he understands love in a different way. And he faces kind of different kind of experiences to understand women in this whole movie.
So அவருடைய எதிர்பார்ப்பு as far as women are concerned are quite different from who the modern woman is. Is that a fair thing to say?
Actually, why we are discussing on a protagonist way.
Right.
It is still male chauvinistic.
Right. Okay.
The story is not talking. I told you it's not a protagonist story. It's not a hero. It's not a hero. It talks about male, female in general. So both of the characters has equal. What do you say? Value in this movie, and you can say as a writer, I am just supporting the female side. I'm trying to understand the movie through the female's perspective. That means Andrea character's perspective.
Okay.
So there's no need to talk about this. Who's this hero? Where he comes from? Hero is no matter. He's a male. That's it.
I see.
Wherever he comes from, he's a Tamil or Bengali or Oriya. Male is a male. That's what the hero.
The reason I'm emphasizing on the characterization of the male character is mainly because I notice sort of a certain similarity in your protagonists. Maybe not so much in Thangavingal, but at least in your first film
There's only 3 movies. This is the 3rd movie of mine.
Right.
But if you take my protagonist, okay, people usually say it's about a loser or who is so angry or so weird or what do you say, pessimistic about life or kind of it, and doesn't understand things in an easy way. But I feel that it's not about actually the protagonist. I have a thesis behind my movie, and I don't make a hero. I don't make a story for a hero. I find out a character to represent thesis of my story.
Okay.
So you can't understand my movie by understanding a hero's character.
Right.
The hero is a kind of a symbol of my thesis. So I create my hero. It's like how you create in animation a thing. I create my character for the thesis of mine. I don't create a thesis through the protagonist. So I think you can't generalize that my heroes are like that.
Okay. So it's probably purely coincidental that they share some of these facets.
No, they share because they have beard, you can say. Well, there's two different. Kattar Tamil
because all of them have had that.
Kattar Tamil he had a fake beard. This guy has a real beard because Jiva doesn't grow beards. This guy grows beards. That's the difference.
Right. Okay. It also seems to me that your films are generally about an effect of globalization. Is that?
I can say it's not effect of globalization. I live in the time period of globalization, and my story happens in globalization. So so the platform is globalization. Right?
Okay. So in the moon padam are part of a globalization trilogy.
Yeah, you can say that first was about arts and humanities. Second was about primary school education and small town villages.
Right.
And this is about male-female relationship. You can call it as a trilogy if you want.
Okay. But that's not a conscious decision. It's not like you're thinking, okay, now that I've made Taramani,
no.
I want to move to something else for my next series of films.
Next movie was Parent, which I finished with actor Mammootty, but it was not connected anything with the globalization because it's about a real man's life. It's from a real life story. So that film is totally different. I don't have a thesis to do that movie. It was a real life story. I was inspired from a real life story and I made that movie.
And what, as a filmmaker, what are your thoughts about globalization? Because there's a general understanding that maybe your films make a point against it.
It's not about supporting or against it. I'm just trying to understand globalization, how it changed my life and how it changed the values.
Okay.
You can't go back from it. Because this political process happens because of a lot of science inventions and the business model changed, and you can't fight against science. When the science grows up, you have to accept it. And but at the same time, globalization brought a lot of other good things too. For example, I felt it did a lot of good things to female in general. At least it gives their space to travel. Because in Tamil history, because why I'm talking about Tamil history or Tamil Nadu, because I live here. And till 2000, women goes to job for bank. They can go by 9 o'clock, come back evening by 6 o'clock. The husband will drop them, pick them back. So in the last 6-7 years, for the first time seeing the females traveling abroad for their profession, for their job. And the family supports them, which never happened.
Okay.
And when they travel, when they get exposed to the other things, they understand whom they are. And if you take a 30-year-old woman who's working, and if you take a youngster who's 20, I'm not saying generally, I'm not saying everywhere. It's very, you can see this change happen at least 0.1%.
Sorry.
So it gives, and the virtual world is open now. The virtual world doesn't have a, gender bias. Only male can see this, female can't see this. Only male can read this, only female can't read this. Only male can do this, female can't do this. This rules, even there's a rule, it won't, virtual world don't care about it. So it treats everyone equal. Because there's a lot of, you can just do without telling to anybody. It creates your private space.
Okay.
That gives a lot of exposure to women. And so it gives them a lot of confidence, and they now understand that as an individual they can do anything. They don't need a support of a male, as a father or as a brother or as a husband. They need a companion.
Right.
Not someone to bodyguard them or to take care of them, because they can do for themselves. This change has happened.
Right.
And but the man still believes that he should be a father, he should be a brother, he should be a husband.
And this notion of protector then that comes with its own problems, no? Where you feel like, okay, I need to protect you, then you need to do certain things that I tell you, because only then can I protect you.
Men try to possess everything in this world, right? So that's why I said it's an age-old story. It's not a story of now. Whenever you talk about male-female relationship, it's on possessiveness. Man tried to possess women. And even the religion, how the religion created, for what the god have been used to control women. What dress they have to wear, and to whom they have to get married, what is meant by marriage. And if suppose the husband did no more, what they have to do. Once they should bury themselves, then they should clean their head. Then
there was a time they had to burn themselves.
They burn themselves and clean their head, then white sari, Then you can wear a color saree, you should not have bindi. Now okay, you can have also bindi also, but then remarriage. So if you see, not only one religion, all religions speaks about religion, or speaks about female and their body in some or other way. So sometimes I used to think that men created religion just to control women, or trying to use religion to control women, or religion is the rules against women. So it's age-old story from the time when the invention God created. How to put it properly? When men invented the concept of God, and how he developed the concept of God to use for his politics over the women. So it is an age-old story. It's not a new story to say it. But I'm trying to see that same story the time where I live in. That's it.
So நீங்க மெயினா என்ன சொல்றீங்கன்னா, you're saying stop this notion of looking at a film through the prism of the hero's vision.
Yeah. Of course, Kattal Tamil is not a protagonist movie. Protagonist just comes there and he says what I want to say. It's not, you can't say that.
But when he's looking into the camera, not literally looking into the camera, but when he's addressing the audience with speeches, for example, about idu sari, idu maarichu, idunala aachu, idu nyayam illa appdin sollumbodhu, then there is a tendency for the audience to think, okay, the filmmaker is making this point through the protagonist.
Of course, that I'll say that even there's if you take Kattal Tamil as a debate, he claims that he have killed 22 people in the movie.
Right, I remember beach la edho paavama rendu per.
So that's all his story. It was narrated by him through a camera.
Right.
I never narrated the story.
Right.
The movie never says he killed them or not. Like any sociopath's habit is that they want to just increase the number, that I killed 22 people, 23 people. No one knows in the world the serial killers have done that much of crime, or they claim it. That if you read about,
trying to analyze what makes that person who he is in real life.
So what I'm saying that the Kattal Tamil talks about alienated person, an outsider, like Albert Camus' Outsider. The same beach scene is from Albert Camus' Outsider.
Right.
The same logic that there'll be a same dialogue in Kattal Tamil also. And 2 degree veil kuda adichadukku naana sarkarno. The same dialogue was taken from
In The Stranger.
Outsider or Stranger? Outsider, I think. Onion. Yeah, Stranger. Okay. Right. Stranger. Yeah. Right. Okay. Onion. In Tamil, it's called Onion. So it's the theory of alienation. Where alienation happens when there's a huge lot of difference in lifestyle, an economical imbalance. That means imbalance in too much level. And when a man doesn't have a family, when he doesn't have anybody to support, or doesn't have a place to go back, who doesn't have a ration card, if you say who doesn't have an Aadhaar card, and no one knows that he survives here, so what he'll do? He can do anything. He can speak on anything.
Right.
So Kattal Tamil is not, what do you say, it's not about what happened to the people who studied.
So it's not your objective to paint these people as to create sympathy for these people.
See, when the Prabhakar speaks, he speaks his logics. I'm not. The director doesn't say that is correct or not. That is his logic, and I'm supporting that character because he's coming out of my thesis.
Okay.
And I strongly believe politically correct is not an art. You can't make a politically correct as an art. Then it becomes a documentary, or I have to preach.
Right.
Okay. What is meant by art? Then art is nothing but I witnessed some truth, a particular truth of mine. From that, I've created a thesis or a philosophy. In that platform, I stand and create my characters, and I make them to debate for myself to explain my thesis to the audience.
Right.
This is how I write my script.
Okay.
I never start writing my script where the hero comes from.
Right. This is the point. So your thesis, do each of your 3 films have a specific point to make, or are you just getting into are you just trying to familiarize the audience with one specific concept that's really affecting you?
It's not a familiar concept. If you take Kattal Tamil when it came, now you ask me, it's a global. You are talking about globalization.
Right.
2007, no one used this word globalization. If you read the Kattal Tamil reviews,
right,
there's not even one single review which stated that this movie talks about globalization.
Right.
Because nobody knows the term called globalization that time. The first point.
Okay.
And people took it as it's something like this guy is what you say, too jealous about others. அவன்கிட்ட நிறைய காசு வாங்கினா என்கிட்ட காசுல புறாவும் பிடிச்ச ஒருத்தனுடைய கதை.
Right.
And ஏழை பணக்காரனோட கதை.
Correct. Right.
And poverty பத்தியான கதை. But
வேலை கிடைக்கலன்ற
பத்தியான கதை. But அது இல்ல கதை. It's not about what you say, job insecurity, or it's not about jealous. So 2007 it's hard for people to understand Kattal Tamil, because even the critic was not ready to understand Kattal Tamil, because they don't have any political ideology, or there's no books in Tamil even.
Right.
There's very, very few books from few parties which talks about globalization. From 92 they started. Once India signed in the GATT, few books were there that was into some, you can say it's a mainstream politics also.
Okay.
You can say some kind of some activists, they come out with the books, what will happen if India inside the GATT, what will happen to the agriculture. And I read one book called Sweating Shops in America. From there I started the story of Taramani.
Okay.
It was published by a movement called Makaika, I hope. It's a real life story which happens in American they say wear like sweating shops, that means about tailors.
Right.
Who works in New York in a tailor shops in a multi-store building. And I saw this movie called Tenant of Roman Polanski. Tenant and Taramani are same. But in a way, there's no same story, but the philosophy, what the movie depicts or understand.
You mentioned that Katradhu Tamil புரிஞ்சிக்கிற அளவுக்கு கொஞ்சம் they didn't get it during the time it was made அப்படினுட்டு. You said that கொஞ்சம் maturity கூட தேவை to understand these things, and that's a line I heard you say in an interview about this film. You said இந்த filmக்கு adult certificate வந்ததுல எனக்கு ஒன்றும் பெரிய கஷ்டம் கிடையாது, ஏன்னா இதை புரிஞ்சுக்கிறதுக்கு there is certain maturity necessary which I feel like adults will have அப்படின்ற ஒரு.
No. What I felt, this story talks about the male-female relationship.
Right.
So the kid doesn't have any role in the story itself.
Okay.
First point. Let them understand it when they become a male and female. It's one point. And I strongly feel a lot of Tamil movies which comes with you and UA are actually A. But I don't want to do this for this movie because I just want to take to the adults. I don't want my daughter to see this movie.
Okay.
Not just because some erotic scene is there, or not because some shocking, hard-hitting things are there. I don't want her to understand all these things now.
I understand.
Yeah. So, if I want to make a U certificate movie, I shouldn't make a movie for kids. I should not make a love story at all. Even love story.
Let me ask you this. நீங்க இந்த படம் பண்ணும்போது, if you had known that this was going to get an adult certificate,
Yeah, that's I know.
would you have made it differently with more freedom to handle the adult material?
My producer J. Satish Kumar said,
Right.
"Are you ready?" He said he wants to do the movie. Then I said, "You may get a UA, but 100 chance to get an A."
I read your reaction to that. Adila, what struck me was you didn't seem very angry with them. You seemed sympathetic.
Censor board represent what the actual people thinks here. Okay, censor board doesn't want.
Some people think that you're angry with them, but I didn't think that you.
No, I was not angry with them because I didn't make such a kind of political movie to debate with them.
Right.
I'm not. It's not anti-state movie, or it's not anti-structural movie, or it is not anti-religious. It's not going to make any difference for the government. So they're least bothered with my movies. They won't come and trouble me.
Okay.
If suppose I make a real movie which questions the real state, then I may have a problem.
Right.
All my 3 movies, politics is there, but you can say that it's not direct. Even I say it in indirect way, and it is not anti-Indian or anti-state movies. But I say my points without disturbing them. So it's not a kind of a rebel kind of movies to have a problem with censor.
Okay.
But censor, but what this movie talks about male female, then I was feeling even the censor board treats female characters differently and male characters differently.
Right.
And for example, there's a scene.
What you used? Sorry, go on.
As a scene, there's some 6-7 guys will be abusing Andrea in a public.
Sorry.
That means they'll say that they'll mock at her, kind of stalking, all those things will happen. That is not a problem. You can have a UA for that, okay? And she takes the slipper, goes and beats them. Okay? Even that is not a problem. And she uses F word when she beats them. So the F word becomes the problem. Then I was asking them, so okay, if suppose she have to scold a man back in Tamil, what the words he can speak in Tamil? If suppose he can speak in Tamil, what will happen to her character? The character will get assassinated. Because a woman uses a Tamil word, then she doesn't have a character. That's what the common man understanding.
Correct.
Then what the words are available for women to shout men back? Only F words are available. Then I said, if I am the censor board, then I want my kid to see this. If I want my girl to see this, if some man does things on this road, you can rebel back, no problem. This you can give actually UA. But actually Tamil cinema
and the obscenity தான் உங்களுக்கு problem.
Obscenity தான் problem. But what actually I'm saying, if there is abusive scene, if a man abuses a woman on a public,
சரி,
that should be a AA. Because kids should not see it. Why should my...
So right now you're saying பொண்ணுங்க திட்டினா தான் பிரச்சனை சென்சர்ல, பசங்க திட்டினா ப்ராப்ளம் இல்ல.
பசங்க பொண்ணுங்களுக்கு எவ்வளவு கேவலமா கண்டிக்கிற பொருளா யூன் வருதுன்னா, then kids can come up by learning that they can mock at girl by any way. So this movie, whatever the Andrea does, all the heroes does in their movie.
I see.
And it gets you. When a female does, how it becomes a UA.
Sorry. Including drinking.
Including drinking. Okay. This movie talks against drinking only. At the end of the movie, you'll understand. They are not going to promote the drinking by itself.
But do you, okay, அது கதைக்குள்ளேயே வந்த விஷயமா இல்ல, or did you feel that as a responsible filmmaker I have to tell people that this isn't a healthy thing to do? ஏன்னா in any case disclaimer வருது.
No, not only disclaimer, the story itself, because he's a single mom, what the son will feel when the mom drinks. There's a scene for that.
Right, okay.
So when you see
anti character சொல்றீங்க.
I'm not saying it's an anti character, yes, not a story. So when a kid looks a parent who's drinking, to a mother, what he will react. Then you see, if someone who sees that, then they won't drink thereafter. So that's inside the movie. But I'm not saying that is my responsibility. But you can't say that since your heroine drinks neat, it's a UA. Then it's a UA. Then I'm saying then put it male female together. Everybody is A. That's what so what I was trying to
but put it scene like, even if that's a father drinking, there are similar problems, right? It's not because of a mother.
That's what people think. If a father drinks, the kids are thinking, okay, we can also drink when we become big. Okay. And if the boys drinks, it's fun. If the girls drinks, it's anti-cultural.
Okay.
So the movie talks about this issue. When the censor board also comes with the same thing, I just put it on my news ad because I want to tell to my audience why this movie is certified as A. It is not an erotic film. It is not there's no explicit scene in this movie, and you won't feel any adultery in this movie. You come and watch as you watch a normal youth Tamil movie. But the movie is A. This I want to tell to the audience. So I have to come out with those kind of advertisement.
Right. And as far as one of the other striking things about the trailer for me was the music of the film. I mean, it has a very groovy, modern flavor to how it's done. Do you sit right at the beginning of the film and figure out what sort of music should be created?
No. I don't write even my complete script. So I just have the idea how I'm going to take the movie. Once the artist acts, when the location comes in, then I develop it according to the artist understanding and how much input comes from them. It's a teamwork for me, and I never work with a bounded script. So it's advantage and it's a disadvantage. Both are there by doing like that.
And the reason I ask you about music is the songs generally play a pretty important film in your...
Because my song story happens.
Right.
So I didn't treat song as a kind of a song to entertain. It's like another background music. Story moves from one place to another place. Whenever in Tamil cinema, whenever the acts change, there's a song, right? That whenever there's a change of act, you put a song, that kind of a song. So it have to come with the story, and I never shot my songs with songs because I don't know what song I'm going to have. After the shoot only, you're going to put song for the visuals.
Okay.
So it's like a montage song. I'll just shoot it like a scene only, then I'll cut it and give to Yuvan, and he sees the visual and gives the music. So it's a little vice versa. Yeah.
And would you agree that Yuvan's popularity as a composer has reduced over the years? Is that a fair to make?
I don't think so, because popularity wise, if you ask me who is the hero of my movie, Yuvan Shankar is the hero of my movie.
Right.
One point. And second, and I can say it in different way. From the Kattar Tamil itself, he's getting bored. He doesn't want to do this. Once he started the career, he was thinking too ambitious music, and he's a composer actually. He's not a music director for films. He's natural composer.
Okay.
And he loves music. So he got irritated or life become monotonous by doing the same routine songs and again.
Sorry.
So now he is in a kind of a breaking point or trying to find another form of mainstream music, and he's trying to, it's a period of time where he analyzes himself and experiments himself.
That probably explains why he has become less prolific. On the number of films that he does
even still he is doing n number of movies. He's having some 32 movies with him. Okay. Even if I have to get a song, I have to wait for at least a month to get an appointment with him. That's how Yuvan still is.
Okay.
And the thing is that he works now, but he's trying to find something new out of him and out from his music. And I feel Yuvan popularity will be there forever, not only for the present, for the past and the future. And I just wonder that I want to see his music down the line another 10 years. Because at 16 he was different, at 30 he was different. I feel in another 5 years, as a man he changes, his music changes. His lifestyle changes the music. So his music will change, and he'll be the kind of one of the greatest composer of.
So in a way you're saying this is slightly a lull before a big rise again.
Of course, Taramani I enjoyed all the songs than Thangamingal.
Okay, I see. Okay.
If you ask me as songs, I like Taramani songs, not Thangamingal. Thangamingal was stereotype mainstream songs. We know this song will hit. When we did Anandayale, we know it's going to be a hit. With that plan, we made the song. But for Taramani, we didn't think that the song should be a hit. People should listen to it. We never made a song that this should become a ringtone. That idea was not there. So it was more pure. So I enjoyed working in Taramani than Tangamani.
Very interesting you talk about a ringtone because I know a lot of people with daughters whose ringtone is Anandayale.
Yeah, that was purposefully. Tangamingal, we want to sell that, we did it. But Taramani, he felt, leave it, I'll do the music which I like. We don't worry about which will become the ringtone, which will become a hit song.
Okay.
We'll do the song for the story.
Okay.
That's how we treated Taramani.
Nama pesumodhu, you conveyed that you seemed a bit unhappy about how your first film was understood.
I'm not unhappy about it. No. See, a movie is not for today. Taramani is not for today, even it releases today. If the movie is good...
And you're not saying it it's ahead of its time in Ramani.
Any art is not for today. I read Roman Polanski made a Tenant, I think maybe some 20 years back. Still I watch this Tenant again and again. Why? So movie is not made for today. And movie will release today. If it is good, it will stand forever. And even the coming generation will talk about it. So I treat my movies not, that is my line, movie is not for today, politically correct is not an art.
If now that Taramani is about to get released, do you want the audience to be prepared for it in any way? Do you want to tell them something so they don't again view it from the wrong prism?
No, I can't guide them because see, whenever you talk about Kattotham, actually you talk about yourself, not about me.
Okay.
Because you are trying to find me, or what is finding a protagonist is finding the creator. Why? When you are putting a question like why your heroes are like that, it's not about heroes. Why you are making heroes are like that? That's the direct question, right? What does it mean? Then you feel that something is wrong. Then you are saying something about your perception, not my perception. You're not talking about my perception.
Not necessarily that it's wrong.
No, wrong or right.
Yeah. We're trying to understand what is it that makes you create a certain type of protagonist.
How you trying to understand it from the exposure, what you have.
Right.
So when you talk about it, I listen about you, not about me or not about my movie.
Okay.
So your art or movie should make you to speak, and it will tell you whom you are at the end of the day. And so whenever there's write up about my movie, whenever there's write up about the direction, then on the technical side I take it differently, and when they're trying to understand me psychologically, I see it in a different way. Okay, I understand the writer critic psych, not my psych.
Excellent.
So always a movie or a thing is that it makes others to write about themselves. It creates a debate.
That's a very interesting point, and on that terrific note, I think we can end this conversation. Thank you very much for talking to me and being a part of Not Just an Interview. Thank you.
Thank you.